Today guys, we are going over some of the best sports classic cars in GTA Online, and we're going to be starting off with the gorgeous Karen 190Z, which you could purchase for $900,000. It has a 109 mile per hour top speed, and it'll cost you about $437,000 to max out. The one downside, obviously, is the fact that you're not actually able to purchase this vehicle anymore in GTA Online. If you do want to get it, you can purchase it from somebody who already owns it at the LS car meet. That's not the best thing in the world, but either way, the car is still great. You can keep it clean like how you just saw it, or you could customize the shit out of it because it has so many customization options, which I also really love. Another downside, though, is the fact that the wide body kit just doesn't line up. I'm not sure why Rockstar did that, but hopefully in GTA 6 they stopped doing that kind of stuff. Either way, the car is beautiful, it's really fast, and has tons of awesome customizations, so who wouldn't like it? Next up, we have the Deluxo, which you could purchase for $5.75 million or unlock the trade price and get it for $4.3 million. It has a 127 mile per hour top speed, and it'll cost you $511,000 to max this thing out. Now, we all know why this thing is amazing. Number one, it is a DeLorean, and it was in Back to the Future. It would be cool if we could customize it just like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, but, you know, it is what it is. Either way, it's a great vehicle. It could shoot missiles, it has machine guns, it can hover, fly in the air, and it can even hover over water, which everybody loves, and it's great for PvP scenarios for a lot of people. I prefer the Oppressor Mark II when it comes to PvP, but some people are absolutely insane with the Deluxo. It's definitely one of the best sports classic cars in the game. Before we jump into the next one though, why don't you guys take a look at this video's sponsor. If you need any assistance in any of your favorite games like GTA 5, Fortnite, Forza, Call of Duty, and many, many more, be sure to check out Damnmodz down below in the description, and at checkout use code Frolickz to get up to $100 off your order. Next, we have the beautiful GT500, which you can purchase for $785,000. It has a 110 mile per hour top speed, and it'll cost you $302,000 to max out. This car is amazing. Not only is it based off of one of the most expensive Ferraris in history of the world, but in GTA 5, it looks pretty damn awesome. Whenever I have to use a sports classic car in a race, I don't usually use a car like this, just because of its low top speed. But if you enjoy driving classic cars around, this thing handles like an absolute god, which is obviously very, very nice. And like I said, since the top speed isn't super high, you have a lot more control of the vehicle going around turns and things like that. Either way, it's a showcase vehicle to me, but when I do take it out for a spin, I have an absolute blast on the roads. Next up, we have the Roosevelt Velour, which you could purchase for $982,000. It has a 98 mile per hour top speed, and it'll cost you $324,000 to max out. Now, you can't say this vehicle isn't awesome. I remember when it was released. Before that, we just had the regular Roosevelt, but this one looks a little bit cooler, has a couple more customizations as well, and obviously the best part about it is hanging off the side of it. You guys had to have done this before during any kind of Valentine's update. Just getting your friends on there, all of you getting into your Valentine's Day formal suits, and then you're just whipping around with your Tommy guns, spraying everything down. It's just a bunch of fun, and it's a really cool looking vehicle. Next up, we have the Z-Type, which you could purchase for $950,000. It has a 126 mile per hour top speed, and it'll cost you $273,000 to max out. Who doesn't love Bugattis? Everybody does. This is a classic Bugatti as well. And when the game first came out, this was one of the most expensive vehicles in the entire game. And if you had one of them, you were living life. Because, like I said, it was literally one of the most expensive things to own back then. And it was also one of the fastest vehicles back then as well. And even right now, with its 126 mile per hour top speed, it can drive a lot faster than a lot of other supercars. But that doesn't mean it can reach that speed that quickly. So, obviously, be careful about that if you're going to go and try to race somebody using a Ferrari. Either way, it's a beautiful vehicle, and for the price that it's at, I mean, back in the day, it might have been a lot of money, but now it's a steal, so I'd definitely get your hands on one of them if you haven't already. Next up, we have the Turismo Classic, which you could purchase for $705,000. It has a 120 mile per hour top speed, 150 mile per hour top speed if you upgrade it to the HSW version, and it'll cost you $437,000 to max out. There's only two things I need to say about this vehicle. Number one, Rockstar did a phenomenal job at creating it in this game. It looks identical to the Ferrari F40 in real life, which is my favorite Ferrari of all time. And the other thing is the fact that it has HSW upgrades. It handles like a freaking god and is great for racing. Anytime there's a sports classic race that I have to join, I am picking this car every single day of the week. It's a phenomenal vehicle, looks beautiful, and you really can't say a single thing bad about it. Next, we have the Corvette Classic, which you could purchase for $665,000. It has a 118 mile per hour top speed, and it'll cost you $248,000 to max out. Now, who doesn't love a nice classic Corvette? It is one of my favorite vehicles in the world. Obviously, I have a lot of favorite vehicles, but this thing, it goes hard. It doesn't have a whole lot of customization, which isn't the best thing ever, but I mean, you don't really need too much customization with this vehicle. Like, it just looks stunning the way it sits. It has some nice wheels on there. Obviously, the rear wheels are much bigger, and its sleek design just looks beautiful. When it comes to performance, it's honestly not the worst thing in the world. The top speed isn't the highest, the control isn't the craziest in the world, but I mean, you gotta get used to it if you're gonna drive it, right? Not every car is the exact same, so you'll just have to get used to it. Either way, it is absolutely beautiful, even though there isn't the most amount of hype for it anymore since it came out such a long-ass time ago. It still looks great, and you should definitely consider tossing one or two of them in your garage. And last but not least, we have the Toreador, which you could purchase for $4,250,000. It has a 135 mile/hour top speed, and it'll cost you $340,000 to max out. It has torpedoes, it has missiles, it has machine guns, and of course it could turn into a submarine and has a boost on it as well. Who can't enjoy this vehicle? Like, you can go underwater, you can cruise on the water, you can drive around on land, and pretty much blow up anything in your path. It also handles really well, and when it comes to being an underwater vehicle, comparing it to the Stromberg, since it has that boost, it can go a whole lot faster. Even if you don't actually use the boost, it is still just the faster vehicle underwater. So when it comes down to it, you can't really say anything bad about it. It's literally the best at what it does in the game. And in terms of the price, yeah, it is a bit expensive, but I mean, it's kind of worth the money compared to a lot of the other vehicles in this game where they cost a lot more and do a whole lot less. Either way, it's a great car, and you should definitely consider grabbing one if you haven't already. Or if you enjoy the Stromberg, you'll definitely enjoy this thing a lot more. Anyways, that is going to wrap the video up for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you went on to enjoy it. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.